there is a map contest going on Team Liquid. It's kind of an interesting one because they took a bunch of the classic maps and tried to remake them, which that's like kind of a cool way to go about it because a lot of people are like, oh, what about these old maps? Can they still be played? And the answer is no. Like, basically every old map is completely terrible and completely imbalanced at this point. But let's take a look real quick because some of these look very, very cool. Okay, so there's like a ton of them, as you can see. So I'm just going to scroll through and take a look at some that look really interesting here. Like maps I remember really well. Like, I don't remember that map very well. This here, take a look at this. This is Longinus remade. Okay, Longinus was super popular back in like 2007-ish? Maybe 2006 through 2008, something like that. Super, super popular map. It's actually very imbalanced now. Like, I mean, this is the easiest TVZ map on Earth. I swear to God, I can't lose a TVZ here. It's just, the map is, it's not that good now. But this is a remake of it, okay? And it's definitely some things have changed. Like, for instance, there's actually a ramp that goes into the main base. You have a gas there at the third base. It's like an interesting remake. And then if you look at these ramped expansion, there's another way in, but it doesn't have two gases. And then you have like these additional bases. So it's like more bases there. I think this is a good one. This looks like can we make that bigger? There we go, a little bit bigger. Little bit bigger. So anyways, I think that one looks pretty interesting. That one looks pretty interesting, pretty cool. What is this one? Okay, close that up. The Downfall of the Moon. What was this originally? Tears of the Moon. Ah, yeah. Tears of the Moon was not a very popular map. It looks kind of interesting, but that one's like hurting my brain right now. This looks like maybe Rush Hour reimagined or Power Bond reimagined? Rush Hour 4, yeah, okay. So this is a remake of Rush Hour. Now, Rush Hour was the best three-player map for a lot of years. Let's take a look at the original, right? Rush Hour would not be playable nowadays. The way that this is split up, these smaller ramps and everything, it's like too strong for things like shuttles flying around. Taking a look at the new one. Oh yeah, they fixed up a lot of the terrain, right? Like this is so janky right here. If you look where I'm circling with the mouse, like trying to move an army over that is basically impossible. This is definitely better. This is a really interesting way to do an expansion. Where before it was on the low ground, right? You'd have to go down and this is super wide open. You can't really wall it. But here it looks like you've got the double ramp and you've got a little way to wall there. So this is actually a really cool remake. They still have this like thing that divides the middle from everywhere else. I don't know how this one would play out, but I like the remake. I like the remake. Ooh, what is this one? Lamentation. What is that originally? Requiem. Okay, I knew it looked familiar. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god. Okay, so Requiem was one of the most imbalanced pro maps that we ever had. You had a low ground main base, and it was like the hardest thing in the world to just not die to the initial Dragoon rush. The builds we have nowadays, you'd be able to do it, but yeah, it was kind of insane. Yeah, it had that cross of minerals in the middle, which is kind of stylistic, and all these funny things like the mineral walls to try to mine through. But yeah, taking a look at the new one here, kind of similar. It looks like you could do things like float command centers, so they would have to think about that. Like, you never want to have a map where a Terran can just float a CC, maybe. Well, to be honest, Protoss and Zerg are so imba that you may as well. But that's an interesting change. I wouldn't mind that one. Oh, this is Tau-Cross remade. Winter Solstice. Tau-Cross, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was a really classic map. This was like... This was one of the best maps right when Jaedong was coming up. I remember watching some of his games on Tau-Cross, and they're like, oh, the Legend Killer, because he was beating all the top players. But Tau Cross is not a very balanced map nowadays. You can't really defend against Mutalisks. It's, you know, it's all very, very flat. There's no high ground other than these little spots that you could drop something on above the naturals and everything. And also the third base is super wide open. The fourth base is super far away as well, or you could try to expand in that direction, but that has its own problems, right? So Tau Cross is not used anymore. Let's take a look at the new Tau Cross. Looks like, okay, they put a ramped expansion as the fourth. Well, I guess it's not really the fourth. That's more of a side expansion because they added some minerals here as well. So, yeah, a decent amount of doodads there to try to make like little walled areas so you can't just get attacked in a giant wave. Very cool looking remake. Little bits of snow here and there. Can't have a full snow map because of how Protoss buildings warp in. Looks like this one is a remake of Heartbreak Ridge. Looks almost exactly the same. Heartbreak Ridge we actually have in ASL this season. So it's not a map that really needs to be remade. It's actually, the balance is not great on it, to be honest, but it gives some exciting games. Here? Yeah, I kind of like the high ground main. I think that's a nice fix. That was definitely a very annoying part of Heartbreak Ridge. Low ground mains that have, like, blockers around them, anytime you see that, that's a very annoying thing for Terran, just in general. It's like you have to lift off so many buildings to see things coming in, right? It's very, very annoying, very hard to stop early harassment because you don't see anything before it's in your base, basically. That's a cool one, though. This looks familiar. What is this? U-boat. Oh, God, U-boat. Yeah, U-boat was not a very good map. Skip that one. Ooh, this is a new destination, I think. Destination. What? I think it's a new destination. Let's see. Oh, Challenger? No shit. That's crazy. Okay, so everyone remembers Challenger, right? Challenger was the map that you played a lot because it was the #1 map in the map list. So everyone has played Computers Here 100 times, right? I have played this map so many hours. And it doesn't need to be... Actually, I mean, it's terribly made, obviously. Still fun, though, to play against... to play... I don't know. It's... I actually played it recently. I think I played, like, someone really good on it recently. It was the weirdest looking game. Anyways, looking at the new... the new Challenger. Trying to make Challenger into a ladder map, which... That is very cool. So the first thing I see is you have this, the main base is like 270 degrees open and nothing behind the mineral patches. Anytime you see that, that's not going to be a very good ladder map. The last map we had like that might have been Gladiator. But yeah, very, very hard to do any real defense there. I like the layout though. It looks much more modern. And I'm sure it's better than original Challenger because you don't have to try hard to make it better than that. All right, let's see what else. Dude, there are so many. It's actually crazy. Oh, is this Sniper Ridge? Parasito? Oh, maybe not. Dante's Peak. Oh, okay. That was not a map that was used for very long. It kind of looked like Neo Sniper Ridge with the high grounds there on the small picture. Make that smaller. Oh! Is this, This? No, that's not what I thought it was. I thought that this might be a remake of, what the hell is the name of it? Two-player space map that we have had so many games on. I can't remember the name of it, but Into the Darkness. Yeah, Into the Darkness, that's kind of an old map. I don't have any special feelings about that one. Ooh, Shin Peaks of Baekdu remake. Okay, even newer peaks. Shin means new, right? Shin Peaks of Baekdu, because there was Peaks of Baekdu, which was really not super well made, and then they came out with Shin Peaks of Baekdu. And Shin Peaks of Baekdu at the time, which was like around 2007, 2008, was one of the most played pro maps. It was really interesting games. Here, let me just show it. So this is the original. Well, I guess this is actually Peaks of Baekdu, but they came out with Shin Peaks of Baekdu, which it looks very similar to this. In fact, this... Yeah. Anyways, whatever. It was a very popular map. It wouldn't be playable really now. The game has changed a lot. The metagame has changed a lot. And looks... It actually kind of reminds me of Turbine. That was a map that was played... Wait, was it called Turbine? Or Wind something or other that was played in CNSL 4 that I casted? I can't remember the name of it, but it was like... This kind of reminds me of it a little bit. Interesting idea, but I don't think that's something that could be played in tournaments. Is this Ride of Valkyries? Ride of Valkyries 2. Ride of Valkyries was a pretty popular map back when it was out. Let's show it real quick. You guys may remember this one, like the giant, these were the biggest ramps ever when it was released. The biggest ramps we ever had. They're like a very unique two-player map. And of course, any map where you have yourself spawn on the same side as your opponent kind of makes an interesting game as you go to the north. Definitely, yeah, I'm liking the double expands up there. Just kind of seems like they added some additional bases here. That's an easier to defend island, which is kind of neat. Oh, this looks super familiar too. Sandstorm. Ah, Blue Storm. Yeah. Okay, so Blue Storm, of course, was one of the most played pro maps back then as well. This, I have so many fond memories of. I've played Blue Storm thousands and thousands of games. Let's take a look. Okay, they fixed the little hole. See, the little hole here was very annoying. It screwed up rallies and everything. It screwed up just about everything because only small units would get through. So if you misrallied at all, like, for instance, to get your units on the map, the quickest way to do it would be you had to rally, like, about there. You look at my mouse, like, right around there. Because if you rallied, like, here, shit would get stuck trying to go through that hole. So you had to rally it somewhere, like, up here, and then you could attack move it. It caused a lot of weird stuff, but did make a quicker scout distance or quicker rush distance and everything. Here it looks like it's fixed by putting a mineral patch on a bridge, so early game you still have that interesting aspect, but later game you can actually go through. Looks really, really similar, but the third base is moved back a little bit, the gas, instead of just a mineral only. An additional base added here and here. Well, no. Okay, so this base here is the new... Yeah, that's that. And then you always had one in the corner. So yeah, these are new. These are completely new. These very middle ones, those would be very difficult to take as well. This map looks really cool. They could have added this to the ladder, and I would not veto it. I have fond memories of Blue Storm, and fixing Blue Storm a little bit would be pretty awesome. Because again, it's pretty imbalanced nowadays. Ooh, I really like that one. That one is very, very cool. Sandstorm. Oh, and it's by Mr. Minerals. Look at that. I actually didn't notice. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that one. That's fantastic. But yeah, this is... there's a ton of maps in here if you guys want to check it out. It is on teamliquid.net. And they actually need people to vote for them as well. So you can go there, vote for your favorite maps, and check it out. Yeah. I'll be voting for this one.